Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Assemble to Learn. Friends, this is the part 4 of OABS PGT Physics previous year question answer discussion. Okay, and our next question means our first question in part 4 is question number 31. What is given in 31? It is given that average depth of the Pacific Ocean is about 4000 meter. 1 second. What is the fractional compression, that is delta V by V of water at the bottom of the ocean? Also consider the bulk modulus of water is 2 into 10 to the power 9 Newton per meter square and G is equal to 10 meter per second square. So what is given here? Average depth of the Pacific Ocean is about 4000 meter, that is D is equal to depth is equal to 4000 meter. Fractional compression we have to find out, delta V by V of water at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, then also bulk modulus K is given as 2 into 10 to the power 9 Newton per meter square and G is given as 10 meter per second square. As we know, bulk modulus is K, that is equal to volumetric stress by volumetric strain, and stress is always force per unit area, or we can write change in pressure or pressure. So delta P by 1 second delta P volumetric stress, stress is force per unit area, that is pressure. So pressure by strain, volumetric strain is minus delta V by V. Okay, this is the formula for bulk modulus. Now delta V by V we have to calculate. K is given, but pressure, what is the pressure over here? Suppose this is the ocean, okay, and this is the bottom part of the ocean. So depth is D, this is D. So at this point pressure will be P is equal to rho G H, and here rho is the density of water, and density of water is, what is the value of rho? Rho is 1000 kg per meter cube. Density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. So 1000 into G value is given as 10 and H value is, that is depth or height, H value is 4000. So our P value, pressure is equal to 1000 into 10 into 4000. So that is equal to 4 into 10 to the power 7. 4 into 10 to the power 7 Newton per meter square. Now if we consider this case, here K is given, delta P we just we have calculated now the value of pressure, and now we have to find out delta V by V. Negative sign here means the volume is decreases, that's why negative sign is there. So delta V by V is equal to delta P by K, that means pressure by bulk modulus. Pressure is delta V by V is equal to, pressure is 4 into 10 to the power 7 divided by bulk modulus is 2 into 10 to the power 9. So answer is delta V by V is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, the value of the fractional compression delta V by V is 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, this is the answer. Delta V by V is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 2, and option 2 is the correct one. Now next question, question number 32. What is given here? Consider a battery with an EMF of 10 volt and internal resistance 1 ohm. EMF is given as 10 volt, internal resistance is 1 ohm, connected in series to a 4 ohm resistor. External resistance is 4 ohm. What is the terminal voltage of the battery? As we know, EMF and terminal voltage are related as V is equal to terminal voltage is equal to E minus IR, EMF minus current into internal resistance. Here everything is given, we have to calculate V. E is given, R is given, but I is not given. What is the current? What is the current in the circuit? Suppose this is our circuit. Here internal resistance and EMF 10 volt is given, internal resistance 1 ohm is given, external resistance R is equal to 4 ohm, and current is I. So to calculate I is equal to V by R, right? And here the effective resistance of this circuit, R effective resistance of this circuit, two resistors are in series, that means 4 plus 1, 5 ohm is the effective resistance. Now let's calculate the value of I. I is V by R. V is given as 10, R we have calculated 5. Then value of I is 2 ampere. Okay, now put all the values over here. V is equal to EMF 10 volt minus I is equal to 2 ampere. 2 into internal resistance is 1. So 10 minus 2, that is equal to 8 volt. So terminal voltage is 8 volt. That is option 1 is the correct. Next question, question number 33. The function f of t is sin omega t plus sin 2 omega t plus cos 4 omega t is a periodic function and it has the time period of, we have to calculate the time period of what? F of t. Okay, for this let's find out the time period of each function. That means let time period for sin omega t is t1 and sin 2 omega t is t2, cos 4 omega t is t3, and time period of this is t, and t is the LCM of t1, t2 and t3. Okay, let's first calculate t1. T1 is 2 pi by omega. Time period of sin omega t is 2 pi by omega. Time period of sin 2 omega t is 2 pi by 2 omega. Here pi is by omega. Then value of t3 is, here 4 omega is there, means 2 pi by 4 omega. So pi by 2 omega. Okay, now t is equal to LCM of 2 pi by omega, pi by omega, pi by 2 omega. That is, if there is fraction, then the process of finding LCM is LCM of numerator and LCM of numerator and HCF of denominator is we have to calculate. HCF of 2 pi, pi and pi. 2 pi, pi and pi. LCM of 2 pi, pi and pi is 2 pi. And HCF of omega, omega, 2 omega is omega. So our LCM of T1, T2, T3 is 2 pi by omega. And the time period of the function f of t is 2 pi by omega. That is option 1 is the correct answer. Now question number 34. An electron in an atom could revolve in certain stable orbits without the emission of radiant energy. This is contrary to the predictions of. Here options are electromagnetic theory, theory of sound wave, theory of light wave, theory of variable mass, and electromagnetic theory. 4 options are there. So it is saying that electron in an atom could revolve in a certain stable orbit without the emission of radiant energy. But according to our electromagnetic theory, electron emits or absorbs the energy. So it is, and this statement is contrary to the prediction of electromagnetic theory. So option 1 is the correct one. The kind of waves produced in a cylinder containing a liquid by moving its piston back and forth is or are. Back and forth means forward, backward, like this. Going like this and coming back like this. Going like this, coming back like this. And this is the example of longitudinal wave. Compression and rarefaction. Okay, so option 4 is the correct answer. Question number 36. A charge of 8 into 10 to the power minus 7 coulomb is acted upon by a force 0.05 Newton, which is created by a distant charge, another charge of 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 coulomb. Find the distance between these two charges. Okay, here we can apply the Coulomb's law. Okay, consider both the charges are in vacuum. Okay, Coulomb's force means one charge Q1 is there, another charge Q2 is there. Value of Q1 is 8 into 10 to the power minus 7. Value of Q2 is 4 into 10 to the power minus 7. Force is there. Value of F is given as 0.05 Newton. And we have to calculate the distance between the two charges. Okay. So as we know, Coulomb's force is given as F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square or D square, and both the charges are in vacuum. Value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9. Q1 is 8 into 10 to the power minus 7. Q2 is 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 divided by D square is equal to F. That implies D square is equal to 9 into 8 into 4 into 10 to the power 9 into 10 to the power minus 14 divided by F, and the value of F is 0.05 Newton. Now 9 into 8, 72 into 4 into 10 to the power plus 9 minus 14. Okay, so 10 to the power minus 5 into in denominator 0.05 means 5 into 10 to the power minus 2 or 5 by 100, so 100. Okay, now 5 into 20. Okay, then we got 72 into 4 into 2, 8, and to 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, 1 0 from 20 and 10 to the power minus 5. We got 10 to the power minus 4, and here 72 into 8. Okay, then value of d square is this. So value of d is under root of 72. We can write 9 into 8 into 8 into 10 to the power minus 4, root over of this. So let's solve here. D is equal to 3 into 8 into 10 to the power minus 2. That means 24 into 10 to the power minus 2, 0.24. Okay, so 0.24 meter, and option 3 is the correct one, and distance between the two charges is 0.24 meter. Now next question, a material is said to be brittle if the ultimate strength and yield point are far apart. Okay, let's draw the stress strain curve. Here strain is there and here stress. Okay, curve is like this. Okay, so this point is known as A, B, C, D and E. Here from origin to A point, OA, this part is directly proportional to this part, obeys Hooke's law. Okay, stress is directly proportional to stress in OA. Then B is known as yield point. C is if we draw the parallel, then that this distance is the permanent set. B is yield point. D is ultimate strength, and E is fracture. E is fracture point. Okay, so if a material is said to be brittle, the material is said to be brittle if this distance, that is DE, DE is very less. If that means option 1, ultimate strength is an yield point. Ultimate strength, yield point, B and D, no. Ultimate strength and fracture point are far apart, no. Now, if the ultimate strength means D and E are far apart, then the material is ductile. Okay, but ultimate strength and fracture points are close, means if DE distance is close, that means the material is said to be brittle. Okay, so option 3 is the correct one. Now question number 38. The phase difference between current and alternating voltage for an LCR circuit at resonance is current and voltage for an LCR circuit. Okay, for LCR circuit, impedance Z is given as R square plus XL minus XC whole square under root, and at resonance XL is equal to XC, that means Z is equal to under root of R square and Z is equal to R. Z is equal to R. If Z is equal to R, then the circuit is purely resistive circuit. Then in purely resistive circuit, what happens? Both the current and voltage are in phase. To to each other. That means there is no phase difference, and the value of phi is equal to, phase difference phi is equal to 0 degree. Okay, so option 2 is the correct answer. Next question, question number 39. The SI unit of the moment of inertia of a disk is, okay, moment of inertia of a disk. Moment of inertia is mr square, and moment of inertia of disk is, moment of inertia of a disk is half mr square. Half 1/2 is a constant. Mr square means unit is kg, r is distance, meter square. In which option kg meter square is there? Option 1 not 2, option 3. In option 3 kg meter square. That means option 3 is correct. SI unit of moment of inertia of a disk is kg meter square. Then the last question, question number 40. To allow new things and findings in science, the curriculum should be updated. To allow new things and findings in science, curriculum should be updated, and if we give what to teacher, then it can be implemented. If we give full restriction to teacher, if we give full freedom to teacher, if we give full orders to teacher, if we give full challenges to the teacher. And here the best option is full freedom. If we give full freedom to the teacher, then it can be implemented. Okay, now okay, this one the last question, question number 40. And thank you for watching. If you like the video, then please like, subscribe and share with your friends.